Hydrated, hungover throat can produce little more than a dry croak. A lifetime of smoking and drinking will do that to you. The chatter from the chimney continues on as before. You seem to have made no impression on whatever's up there. Then again, maybe it's worth actually trying something up there.
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. A thick layer.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then, you've awakened the entity. You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking. Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind? I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Very good. My rate is 10 reo per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire. She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before her.
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
She nods.
Anything else, officer? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
Me neither. I just want it off my face. It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. A kind man, From Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it. It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world. What does she mean to get off on it?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-Roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
Anything else? There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula, or Tumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is. The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just the props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. The usual, they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else? Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas. There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravachol ICT. And they already had the bear. The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion. Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. Sure, I'm listening. I'm pretty sure it's still... Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Central project. And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
I was just about to ask. What do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
Is it now? I've always thought it's a rather mundane and boring place with no supernatural surprises in sight. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, let me know.
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. Blaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her. The bookstore closes starting 2100. You'll have to do that tomorrow.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. What do you mean by cursed? Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real and I'll give you your cursed die. Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure? Alright, maybe some other die then. How about an amber die? Who told you amber was cheap? It's beautiful, really, and has been treasured since the ancient times. For 7 real, I'll craft you a 13-sided die from piece of amber with a fossilized insect. It's perfect for those who can't seem to let go of their past. Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? Ah, yes, Fortress Accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. The Wiro Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die, only instead of plants it uses motifs of ice and death, and loss of course. I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours. It's an icosy tetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results.
Loving it. So nifty.
Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect. Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? I think I have just the right one for you. You're a police officer, right? Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't overthink it. You overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to do and the 2 dice drop to the floor and scatter in opposite directions, like pearls from a broken string. The blue one disappears down the pit in the center of the room.
Ah, down the drain, like your career. I apologize, officer. That comment was unnecessary. That one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay. The other one was the inverse. They were a set, you see, but now the set is broken. It's a shame. They might have brought you luck. You definitely need luck in Martinez.
Is she pitying you? Good God, she's pitying you.
Now, was there anything else? Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. A star that fell from the firmament? Those all right. Maybe some other die then? Ah, yes, the Wiro untethered. I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile untreated bone is porous and prone to chip. Maybe you have some other ideas for dyes? Ah, yes, the Wiro. I'm thinking some. Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else? Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. No need to rush.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it.
You're right. The rooms do look like
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. You muster all your strength, your deep lifetime. The chat then again.
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
A thick layer of coal dust.
You're right. The room...
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. You muster all your strength, your deep life. The chat then again.
Maybe you...
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it. You muster all your strength, your lifetime. The chatter from the chimney. Then again, maybe.
Maybe you should... You're right. The rooms do...
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. Another pathetic yelp sounds off into the vast dark. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace. A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. You muster all your strength and yell. Your deep life. The chat then again.
Maybe...
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it. You muster all your strength, your lifetime. The chatter from then again.
Maybe... You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But...
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not
Another pathetic yelp. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
You muster all your strength and you're dehydrated. A lifetime. The chatter then again.
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
A thick layer of a hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. Something breaks loose. You've awakened the entity. You hear?
After you, officer.
Hello, did you try? So what?
Could this be she's got a direct view to?
Yes, I mean, mostly they just teach you to swear in different language. Then how did you get inside? I'm a novel.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Very good. Take a look.
This person, no falsehoods are present.
How did I be? Some of my friends were roleplay, not the spec.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Nothing.
Who cares? The loot.
Your wind.
I'm sorry, detective, but well, there's during the.
She's heard. She's not so.
But I never saw anyone. I might have.
It's light.
It's really.
This person values folk.
It's an odd profession. Make.
She nods.
Anything else, officer? We're inside the. But when I arrived.
Plaisance.
Create here.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have.
More or less.
Oh, quite a lot of.
Yes.
It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
Me neither. I just wandered off my face. It wasn't merely a gym. It was a kind man from Zemsk. Kuno. Oh, you mean I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid? It didn't.
You should have. It's not.
Eventually, the coalition took away the. Oh, this one. There's. And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's a sub.
Nothing. What does she?
Don't worry.
Good luck with that. It's not easy. You mean Mr.
But what drugs?
Anything else? There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for. And naturally. Actually,
As she.
anything else? They were made by. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. The usual, I'm.
Men like that.
Sure, I have no.
They were just. Maybe you could make a sword out of them.
Fortress X.
She liked them.
They were an interest. They certainly took their work. The usual. Well, they see.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Yes, in the end.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult.
Not the wisest.
There is no dice.
Anything else? Oh boy, the place was owned by two guys. That was written by men
Sounds like Victor does the same.
employing silk, and they already the best. Of course, eventually Ravishaw ICT lost the price war to its right. Maybe. He said that the bear was Megatherian. It's an by telling you
A wise and noble beast.
understandable anyway. Anything else? I'm not. Oh, I think
The doorbell with the empty name.
that's right. I'm sure. I'm listening. I'm pretty sure. I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. It's just capitalism. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of. You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East of the Commerce Central project. And then there is. I've been here.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
I was just.
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
Is it now? Well,
That's all she plays on. The bookstore closes starting 2100. You'll have to do.
oh, it's you again. Of course. Tell me what. Ah, yeah, the Wirrow. I'm thinking something made from. Maybe you have some other ideas. I think you're a police.
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. Whatever you do, don't you overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to.
Down the drain. Like that one. It's a
A sheep.
Now, was there any. Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Of course. Tell me, I think you're a police.
A beautiful woman tossing you a gift. You overthink it.
Down the drain.
Her knuckle. That's right.
This is the last time.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a. Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. I think you're a police.
A beautiful woman tossing you a. You overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to do, and her knuckles pop. That's right.
I mean, I'm not engaging her till I raise my hand-eye coordination.
I've got nothing to say to you.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. Again.
Good one, Titus.
Huh?
There was a bullet in the dead man's brain. Why was it there, if you had...
How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice.
Interesting, sire. It's as if he's lying to protect someone.
This line of questioning is over. You got the cause of death already? Hanging. If there's any post-mortem trauma, it's your problem.
This was a good move. Also, notice how Titus doesn't like her much, especially when she's calling the shots.
About fucking time. Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now she's making me play.
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us?